three, let's go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Adjacent with Jace, the tabletop interview review show for the Adventures in Thoria, brought to you by the Black Tower Stories. I am of course your host, Jace, and with me today, slick moves, nice shoes, but in card games he'll lose. On the boat he'd smuggle booze, right or left he'll let you choose, cause he's coming in with a haymaker. On a good hit it's a bone breaker. Next up, if there are any takers, on the real fights no fakers. If you're in a pinch, get a hand of healing, they'll help you out with how you're feeling. If not, it'll be necrotic, especially if you're crab aquatic. These hands will hit extra hardy, so make way for the smooth monk Ari. Hi. That went pretty well.
You did very well. And it just kept going. That's why I was more impressed. So I was like, oh, it's gonna stop. No. Oh, it's gonna no.
There's like progression on each one I've done for everybody. Each week it gets a little longer. Yours, I actually added an extra line in there. I put the necrotic and aquatic one in there. It's like I want to put the crab reference in here, so I'll stick in this part. But thank you, Ari, for coming in and enjoying the ride with me today. It's not mandatory. It's just it is mandatory. But thank you, chat, for also being here and enjoying the lovely show we have in store for you. There's a lot to go over since the chaos that ensued. That is the creature known as Gorbeck. We'll try to cover as much of it as we can from our perspective, because we just kind of watched in horror. It's like a train wreck. But Ari, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just coming down from Tuesday's show. It's an emotional roller coaster. Is exactly the way that I would put that. That was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of moments there.
One big down at the end of it.
Absolutely,
Like a
torrential. Some would say.
Like a toilet. Water flows downhill. So if you're tempted to go higher up on a mountain, perhaps you don't take a waterfall. Because falling tends to go downwards.
Just down, yeah. That's the thing.
The opposite of what we want. But, Gorbeck's gonna Gorbeck, and by God, he Gorbecked.
I really hope that didn't cost Gorbeck his character. That's really where I'm at this point. Just kind of okay,
struggling.
Just struggling.
Well, we are here to discuss not only Gorbeck's decisions, but also plenty of other things, such as your recent devotion to healing. But we'll get some questions on that. The more outgoing nature of a lot of the characters, a lot more talking going on. That's more fun. But we got some questions already rolling in. But I want to start off with a question of my own that I made, because sometimes I don't get to go to them. Let's scroll down on my thingy, on my note sheet here. All right. Let's get right into it. So, how does it feel to be the dedicated healer?
It's not bad. I tend to play healers in most every other game type that I play. So MMORPGs. Really, it's just MMORPGs. But so like League of Legends, even in New World, I just picked up. When I played WoW, I played a healer. So I'm familiar with healing, and I felt like I needed to step into that role with this group of people because we had a heal spell and no actual healer. So I'm okay with it. Like, I'm used to it. I like that role. I tend to be the person that you have to beg to heal, though. I don't just give it to you. It's usually comes with a favor. Like, for me as the player, Arthur is trying to just keep people alive at this point.
Doing a really good job. I'll go ahead and throw the stat out that you wanted me to keep track of, because
if I'm gonna do it, you might as well cap it, right?
This has not ironically, this has not included anyone else healing, because since you started healing, no one else has used a single spell to heal anyone, which is
didn't Gorbeck try to heal somebody?
He attempted to heal you. He did not work because you punched him.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, thanks.
But let's scroll up to my healing stat. You have healed a grand total of 33 points.
Yay. When you're rolling a D4 to heal people, that's impressive.
I think you've healed a total of 4 times, so your average is...
Are we counting the times that I healed you before?
I'm counting if you've used healing hands, the healing punch. Even during rest, I count those.
Nice.
But handing out potions don't count. Those are money. But ironically, no one else has healed anything since you've started to heal people.
It's okay. I'll be here. Well, hopefully.
We're jumping off a cliff. We did lose one of our healers, apparently, by jumping off a cliff. How many Kalums is 33? Is it 1.5 Kalums?
1.5, right?
A little over 1.5 Kalums.
Because one Kalum was 20. At 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kalum was 20. So that's good. Kalum in in 3...
We'll go 5/8.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. We can do that.
Don't know if that's true, but yes, 5/8 sounds good. So yes, you are the leader in healing right now because no one else has even bothered since you started. So
got to be the leader in something. On
a side note that's related to it is you are now the dedicated healer. You are also a monk. Therefore, you have 2 strikes against you in Eric trying to kill you.
I didn't think about it that way.
It's a big old target on you.
I mean, he likes to call that I'm going to fail my rolls before I roll them anyway. So yeah, I figured this was going to be a problem.
don't think he can influence it though. He just got lucky.
You know what? I'm a monk. I believe in juju and ki and good karma and all that stuff, and he's just throwing all that bad karma into the air.
As I also wrote down a stat that's related to that one as well, as that since it's on a different page. There it is. Since you have started, since the aquatic adventure, since that had ended, you have only taken 17 points of damage. Total.
I like and hate that stat. I like it because I felt like I was getting picked on for quite some time. Combat damage, obviously. Yes. Non-combat damage, obviously Gorbeck was the leader in that one.
The king.
But I was like, oh, geez. And I just kept getting hit. And then after a minute, there was one that I didn't take any damage, and I think that was the octopus fight. And then since then, I've only taken minimal damage, and we're going to just kind of hope that it stays that way. But at the same time, Gorbeck has gone down. Caleb has gone down again. And, like, all these other people that I was taking the damage for just kind of...
That you dispersed it amongst them.
It's horrible.
Big round of applause on your first deflect missiles as well. Very nice.
I know. I was like, I need to use this feat. Like, I've got to use it at some point or another.
Great shot at. Use it. Use it.
And that was a hefty amount of damage for a Cobalt crossbow or whatever arrow.
Goblin boys.
Yeah, and I was like, you're gonna hit me.
Nah. I can't hear you now. What happened? As we wait for Ari's audio to kick back up, just start chiming in whenever.
I'm gonna keep talking.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. All right, we can hear you again. I was gonna mention, sorry Spars for once again missing the intro. It happens. It's always like right at the end. You pop in. I think you got it last week. That's only because I was delayed again for the audio issues. But maybe if there's time at the end of this episode, I'll go over it again. Or the compilation video will eventually show up on YouTube of all of my intros. It'll be our most successful video.
It was a long one, Spars. It was a long one.
It's very good. Question now from the chat.
Right,
question: after 16 episodes, does it feel like 4 months of real time has gone by?
Yes.
It doesn't feel like we've been playing that long.
Absolutely.
But it also does feel like we played that long.
Absolutely. I get so anxious because it's not only that, I mean, I guess in our other games we play longer, but I feel like since this happens so late in the day for us, that I'm not going to say it's long as if like I don't enjoy it, but it does feel incredibly long playing. And then when you have to wake up and go to work the next morning, you're like, oh, all right, cool. I did this until like 12 o'clock, almost 1, depending on if I stayed on and talked afterwards. It feels long. It feels long. And then I'm also anxious to like, I want my character to get like to level, and we keep running into these things, and I'm just like, can we level? Can we level? Can we level? Are we level 4 yet? Are we there yet? No, we're not. Okay, I'm gonna sit back and shut up.
So 17 episodes in, and we are level 3. So I don't know how to like rate that. That's like every 4 sessions you get a level.
Yeah.
So
yeah, or every.
Well, we started at 1. We started at 1, so every.
We're doing a lot of math this episode.
Every 8 sessions. Let's jump into 8. Every 8 sessions. But I think like we started so recently ago, but yeah, it was 4 months.
4 months.
Like we ended our campaign. Now Critical Role starting their campaign back up around October. So yeah, it's just a huge gap. On to another question though. Question for both of us. If Arthur and Izal got into an arm wrestling competition, who would win and why?
Izal. Izal actually has the strength score to actually win, unless Arthur just gets lucky and Izal rolls low for some weird reason.
And if you think Eddie is not going to rage for an arm wrestling competition, she will.
And if you
Get
think
that
Arthur
out the way.
won't use a lucky point for that, you would you.
It's like, let's pick another one.
I
Third.
save my key points. I don't save my lucky points.
Lucky it's for anyone. All right, I think that's pretty obvious. Arm wrestling is generally strength based or athletics.
Yeah.
And it's the only strength skill. So, another question. This one's for Arthur. You don't have to answer this one, but it says, "What is your full name?"
Arthur Hartville.
There you go.
Arthur Hartville.
Yep. It wasn't really a secret. I mean, we have.
You can look at our D&D
I think
Beyond.
our extension, exclamation point Arthur. It'll take you a link to the D&D Beyond page, and his name's right there. So it's not a mystery.
Yeah, it's even on the
The extension?
Yeah, the extension. So if you hover over the extension, it shows my character art, full name, and the current health points.
Yeah. So not a secret.
Thank you for the answer. Thank you for that question.
Question for both of us again. Please, can we do Wednesday Wed, Bed, and Behead NPC edition for each? We could. I guess for all the NPCs. I'll be honest, I know like 5 NPC names.
All of them?
I know like 5 of them.
If they're not in my notes, I'm not gonna.
We'll go with the 3 again that we went with last time, I guess.
Okay.
The Mizak, the boat captain, who I don't remember the name of.
Silverleaf.
And Aidenheart, dude, the big
Theofric.
That was it.
Ooh, look at me getting those names. I won't get anybody else. But Mizak, Theofric, and Captain Silverleaf.
I have these written down from last week, and I still didn't fucking remember them.
Okay, Wed, Bed, and Dead? Is that what it
Bed,
was?
Behead. It's Fuck, Marry, Kill, but it's...
Oh, okay. Well, you already said it.
TOS.
So Wed, Bed, and Behead. Honestly, this is going to sound horrible because I know a lot of people like it, but I would say I would behead Theofric just because that is the one I don't actually have any kind of like emotional attachment to character base. Like Arthur had really minimal interactions with Theofric and did not try to go back and hook up with him later on. So, so I'm going to have to behead him because I can't behead Mizak. I just can't do that.
Are you willing to marry Mizak though?
No, that's the other thing. Like, but it's so weird because I don't want to bed him either. But like, so is this like an open relationship kind of thing? Like, am I able to like?
However you want your relationship to be.
So
I'm sure that's very
we're gonna, you know what? We'll do this because I don't think marrying Captain Silverleaf is an option. Just because there are viable reasons to not marry him. He's an alcoholic. He has lack of commitment. The only thing he's committed to is his boat and his ship. So I'm gonna say I would wed Mizak. Because at least Mizak has tried to improve himself and is showing signs of growth. And then I would bed Captain Silverleaf. But if I have the option to have an open marriage or something like that, then I would constantly bed Captain Silverleaf and just stay married to Mizak.
Okay. Gotta put yourself in a corner with the...
Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
On to another... You know, I want to skip these questions, and I'm going to go skip to the one that was recently asked. What is your favorite fan art so far? There's a lot of good fan art out there.
There are some quality fan arts. Are we including the ones that were in Discord and not necessarily
Speaking
published?
of which, I would like to show you all some wonderful art that our artists of Black Tower Stories have been hard at work, including Brit Mix Studios, Tater the moderator, and myself. I haven't done very much though, but here is the wonderful one that showed up. We brought the question up: what does Volred look like under his mask? So we had to figure out what he looked like under his mask, and one of which was a late entry. This is Nigel Volred. Nigel Thornberry. His face. I don't know how that nose fits under there, but I'm sure it does. We have this one was done by Britmic Studios. We also have Hot Volred, which was done by Tater the Moderator. Modified one of his drawings to have the Volred accents to it. We also have another entry from Britmic Studios. This one is Cute Volred, which is the anime kawaii version of Volred. I don't know how he just keeps all that makeup on with the face mask and stuff, but which one? This one says Handsome Volred. Oh, there he is. This one showed up in the stream because I brought it out, but Handsome Squidward is definitely there. Oh, and I forgot the one I did. I'll pop it up in a second. But I did this one. I drew this one myself. It's really bad. Here. This is Jace Volred. It's just another mask under the mask, completely covering his face. This is the multiverse of Volred. It's like the Spider-Verse, only it's the Cognac verse. Let me pull up the one I did that I edited real quick. Just a moment. Ari, entertain the group.
Well,
Good work.
I will fill the space with random knowledge and random information. All information that could possibly just be made up by the stuff on the top of my head at this point in time. So, in case you didn't know, I am partially colorblind and cannot see the color orange effectively. I was a Air Force kid, so I traveled all over the world. I've touched all 50 states. Believe that if you want. I also have an allergy to chocolate chip cookies. So that is a thing. And, like we're just...
All right, I got the picture.
There we go.
Let's go to... This is Saitama Volred. It's just One Punch Man. I did this one. But yeah, the base of it is all Britmic Studios, and we all just kind of had fun with the face. This one's somewhat realistic because it'll fit under the mask. But yeah, that was what we do when our joke goes too far. Let's get rid of that.
Oh, and I see the chat on our thing. Again, some of those could have just been made up off the top of my head. You'll never know.
So those were the ones that were done for fun. That those could be included in your favorite fan art choices. I personally like everything that's done by Britmic Studios. There is I like the Ranger Rick Kronk mix that Tater the Moderator did. That one's for the one shot we did. That was pretty funny. For Necro.
I know I literally just said, can the stuff in Discord be included? But I'm going to throw a little wild card in there and just say that Fuck the Establishment has been one of my favorite drawings to date. And it was done so well in such a short amount of time. I cackle every time I see it. So yes.
I forgot. That is a good one. I think that was our first meme fan art that popped up. That was so good.
So good. It was so worth it.
It was sketched out by the end of the episode, and it was finished by the end of the night. Oh, okay. That was a good one. On to another question from the chat, of course. Since I skipped off to double back. What do you think would happen if the full crew went with Gorbeck? If we all decided to jump in the water? I don't think it would be a TPK because we kind of already did this before, which was my thought process. Like, well, it's just going to be a replaying of what we did before. It was terrible. We screwed ourselves over. We probably would have gotten damaged, maybe separated, but we definitely would have wound up in a bad place.
I have to fully agree with that. Just because what we were doing was that would be incredibly counterintuitive to what we were actually doing. We had a moment to talk, and one of the parts that came up in discussion, it was like, it's a waterfall.
It's down.
We're going up, like we're not going down, so that would make no sense. The only reason Arthur probably would have jumped in there would be to get away from the monsters if we were trying not to fight. But it's our group. We're gonna fight. Like, if we have the opportunity to fight, we're probably gonna go for it. So, if we would have went all would have went down there. I have a feeling that would have forced Eric to have to create a whole different thing and a whole different campaign, another arc. But I think we would have survived, or at least most of us would have survived, and we'd be probably down in the dark place.
Dark place. It's the Underdark.
The Underdark. I just like saying the dark place.
Speak Goblin.
Yeah.
Another question. This one's a question for Jace. With Critical Role starting back on Thursdays, not sponsored, will Jace move time slots so they will occupy the same time? I believe their start time is the Pacific, correct? And they're 2 hours difference from us. So if they start at 5 or 7? If they start at 5 at 7 p.m., then it'll be 9 o'clock here. So by the end of our show, they'll be going live. So if anything, it's a great transition. And so no, we will not be doing. We had Adjacent with Jace in the show on back when they were still doing their campaign. It was no big issue. That's why we don't have our main campaign on Thursday, because we didn't want to compete directly with them, because that's just stream suicide. And I mean, you can watch Adjacent with Jace some other time. You don't have to watch it when it's live. But if you want to watch a stream for the Critical Role, go ahead. I'm gonna stop you. But yeah, that answers that one. Another question for Ari: do you have a backlog of Mama Arthur wise sayings, or is it just all on the spot?
Most of them, believe it or not, are on the spot. I think there was one that I had that I referenced a joke that was I had heard earlier in the day, but most of them are on the spot. It depends on the situation. You just never know what's happening, and so like I wish I had a backlog of them that I could just be like pick from point A to point B, but most of them are on the spot.
What doesn't kill you gives you a very dark sense of humor and a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms. Was the one that you used?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's true. Is it not?
Yeah. But Volred, like Volred always says, just cram that darkness deep inside you so it never escapes.
Or just scream internally. I mean, if we're talking about, like, somebody said that a fount of wisdom, which was really interesting to hear, but really it's Volred. Volred is the one that gives you the, like, those spot on.
He gives you the answers you want. Like, oh, yeah. I could use this. I mean, I'll probably die from like internal hemorrhaging,
but you know, this is just what Volred gives you what you want in the now, not what you want in the future.
And Volred's all about the now. Do you think Ziggle will make it out of all of these encounters with us alive?
No.
I think he's going to be our first NPC death.
I think he is.
Like main NPC death, not the child's mother, because that doesn't count.
That's a little awkward. Yeah, I personally don't think Ziggle is going to make it out of this, because I don't know what additional purpose he will serve, you know? Like, when you think about like NPCs and like where they're going to be and how they'll impact, a lot of times you're trying to figure out like, well, what will you do? Like you can't go back to your family. You've gotten shunned out of your clan, period. again, twice really.
Nice.
You were in Goblin Jail. Like, you can't go back there. And then the city doesn't like goblins if you don't have somebody, like, to tailor them to. So, like, he has nowhere to go.
Oh, so we're his only option.
We're literally his only option.
We need to quit adopting these kids.
So, yeah. Well, I made it a point to say that I am not adopting this one.
I was all about like, don't you bring another child with you. You come home with cigarettes and nothing else.
Or, never mind. I was going to say something incredibly dumb, and I'm not going to do it. Continue.
Congratulations on your drinks. This will be our last drink, of course, because, I mean, there's one after this one, but as far as today, Sober October starts, so we're going to be a lot more depressed during the stream, guys.
Struggling. It's going to be a struggle. Mm.
A Ziggle and Mizak sailing adventure.
Wait. Mizak cannot be on the Reef Breaker. Like, Ziggle had potential of being able to see stuff. What is Mizak going to do? What has Mizak done successfully?
Killed things.
Does Mizak, or sorry, not Mizak, Ziggle. I had that backwards. I had it so backwards. Ziggle, what has he done successfully?
Oh, potentially got us lost in the caves. Although Mizak did that too. They're not good navigators. One can actually kill things.
I'm looking at the chat, and someone posted his best.
He's doing his best, okay.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough right now. I
mean, I'm looking at the stat real quick from BTS Stats, which has a lot of meanings when you think about it. Behind the scenes Black Tower Stories stat. Scroll up. Here it is. Mizak has dealt 27 damage, which until the last two fights was the same as Calum. And Mizak hasn't been with us at all.
But again, Calum is a utility wizard.
Yeah, but we're comparing it's a 1-to-1 of a PC and a kobold we found in jail. The second NPC we found in a jail. The second one. Like, we just need to stay away from jails. We need to quit adopting people from jail. Look, we need a background check from now on. If they've got a convicted felony, like, they're out of they can't come. They can't be in the party. If we got to kick out PCs for the same reason, we got to kick out PCs. No more edgy rogues.
No more edgy rogues.
Volred, I need a hair sample from you.
Oh, yo, he's not gonna give me that. Volred doesn't give any information. Notice that in the last couple of watches, Volred has been paired with people who don't talk very often or don't talk very much. But even then, what I found incredibly impressive is that Rab managed to talk his way out of talking about himself through that last encounter. I went back and watched the video, and I was like, Rab just kept asking questions.
Yeah. And
Gander, Aaron, was not like trying to ask any in return. He was just trying to function and be there. And so I was like, wow, we managed to skip out on some Volred story points there.
All right, next one, we got to switch up and put 2 dark vision people together. That way we can start mixing things up.
We have to. I mean, we only have 2 dark vision people left right now.
Oh, man. Oh, that means we can't split them up because they have to be in certain groups now. Dang. The Volredizol talk's going to have to wait, guys, until we find Gorbeck. I'm going to talk with every character and have your own little chit chat. It'll be adjacent to we saw. Come on, have a seat. Have a seat right here. On to another question. I just wanted to dive into that stat there really quick. No? I need to organize my stuff better because there's only 2 pages. Shouldn't be that hard. This mouse isn't working. If you had to bet, would you pick Gorbeck as alive or dead?
Are we talking my character or are we talking player?
We'll go Arthur. Well, you already said Arthur thinks he's dead. So we'll have to go with you. Do you think after, because we have a feeling that Eric and Bevo will be doing off-screen stuff, deciding what's going on. So there's potential that something could happen to him off-screen. We can figure out what happened. There's a chance he could die off-screen, and we would never know.
To answer your question, I, as a player, don't think he's dead, only because I don't think Eric would do that, personally. I could be proven wrong. Don't know. But I, as a character, don't think that he's dead. Or as a player, don't think he's dead. My character, Arthur, after hearing Wendy being tossed around for an hour and a half underwater in dark trespasses and stuff like that, Arthur's took that and was like, no, he literally just went down there. He's not surviving for an hour and a half with no air. It's not gonna happen. Arthur thinks he's dead, and it's just like, I just need the group to move in whatever direction they're going to move.
Yeah, so probably, I think he's alive, but if they do some off-stream stuff or side hustle, I think Bevo might make a mistake and get himself killed off-screen. Because now there's no one there to protect Bevo. When he's left alone, Gorbeck makes the decisions he makes also when he's around people, but now there's no one to stop him.
And I also kind of feel racked about that, because I feel like Arthur, so as the character, Arthur, I feel like should have stepped in and said something or done something, and I just kind of feel bad. So I was like, this doesn't look like it's going to turn out well. And then here we go.
I was the same way. I didn't really know if I should stop her or not, but
yeah.
I generally flip-flop back and forth. If I help him, I won't help him the other time. That way he has a sense of freedom, but that was on one of the off ones.
Yeah, I usually have something to say about it, and I've made a decision. It's like, you know what? We're going to let Gorbeck do Gorbeck things, and this was the result. So I just I don't feel good about it.
What is, or who is, your favorite NPC?
My favorite NPC is currently Denny. I like to argue with Denny. Denny is just a fun, very cold character that Arthur just likes to pick on because he knows he can get away with. And so that is my favorite NPC to interact with. But I mean, we can't just leave Mizak out. Like, Mizak is literally pretty high up there right now on one of my favorites. So
Denny, because you can bitch at him?
You don't really bitch at Mizak. You just kind of slowly curve Mizak in one direction and just kind of let him go. So
the opposite of Gorbeck.
Exactly. You hold Gorbeck closely and don't let him go anywhere.
Cannot be trusted. There is recent talk about D&D doing an evolution in 2024, which is basically they're going to give us a 5.5 edition with updated stuff. But with that being said, is there anything in 5th edition that you personally think should change, that you just kind of don't like?
That's honestly no. Only because, and maybe that might be because I feel a little spoiled with our group. We do a lot of homebrew rules that impact the things that I didn't personally like. So I mean, if we're going off of that logic, I would say that taking a potion should be a bonus action if you have it, especially in like dire need situations. I feel like that impacts obviously I like our rule where you could have one of them slotted until you slot another one. But I feel like that would be something that I personally would change. Doesn't necessarily mean that it has to change. And then healing spells being necrotic to me is just weird. Like, I get it. I get the understanding behind it. Yeah, I don't I don't like it. It just sounds weird to me. It just doesn't fit the bill, but
Well,
I understand what it
they
is.
used to be necrotic. Now they are evocation. It's the ones that raise
Oh,
you from the dead, are like
those are the ones I
revivify.
I
Revivify is
guess.
which I feel like that one should be evocation, because you're healing that body right back to life, pulling that spirit, which is like evocation pulls energy from plane to plane. Evocation, you're pulling that spirit right back into the body. But I understand necromancy always gets a bad rep, and then the cleric goes and blasts a bunch of spells that use it. It's like, how dare you raise the dead? Hold on, my buddy died. I gotta
so knock
this.
So knock.
Yes.
The end of like all of the last series in the game we played.
My friend died. I don't know what happened. Let's go into another question. If Gorbeck dies, will either of your characters feel responsible for not stopping him this time? He's all wood.
Arthur would. Arthur is the one that's been pretty hard on Gorbeck, I guess you could say. But it's only because he wants to see him survive, and Gorbeck has a tendency to make a lot of Gorbeck decisions. And Arthur is just like, I grew up with very little organization. I mean, I was in a monastery, but I only did that for a couple of years, and then I ran off and basically joined the military, the Navy, I guess you could say. But there was no real organization. You kind of do whatever you want to do. So Arthur sees this as like, oh, he has a very similar background to me. It's like he has no real order, but even Arthur's like, that doesn't sound smart. That doesn't sound wise. Like, why would you do that? So I would feel bad if he does die, but will I think that it was unmerited? Probably not. Yeah.
Izal would feel bad because Izal's literally stopped him from jumping off a cliff already. And it's like, this is the end result of when you don't stop them. And it's that zealot guilt that they tend to have when they make stupid decisions. Another question is, how will your characters handle if they don't find Gorbeck or Gorbeck's body? Like, eventually, we're going to have to stop looking for him.
Yeah.
Like, we're still on a timetable. And much as we love Gorbeck, if we can't find him in a labyrinthian underground, then just can't find him.
Yeah.
We'll put up posters. Looking for striped goblin. Green. Very loud. Likes to bite people. Don't approach. Likes to bite. Reward? Question mark.
Very, very like questionable.
Upon arrival.
So that kind of leads back into like a previous answer where Arthur at this point in time doesn't know if we're ever going to find Gorbeck's body, because he, based off of conversation, he's being junted around in all of this dark water, being shot out into who knows where, and we can't find any way to exit the mountain that has water near it or has water exiting. So Arthur's at the point now where he's just like, I mean, I've lost a lot of people to the sea and we never found their body. This is pretty much the same concept.
Another question. If Gorbeck returns, will you be surprised if he's riding a velociraptor? And I would.
Yeah, because we couldn't even get the wolf in check.
Like,
well, I mean, we did get the wolf in check.
How do you not tame a wolf? But
he did, though.
No, he had it not bite him because it was scared. That's not tame. And then
it was intimidated. It was intimidated, and we don't know how far that would have went if he would have actually tried. So I'm going to give Gorbeck the credit on that one. I'm going to give him the credit on that one. But, I mean, he got stabbed, so it's neither here or there.
We even left one alive for him this last time, and he went and floated himself down the water.
He did. That was a choice.
Volred had to hold back so long to not kill that wolf. It's just like, kill the sleep things. That's what he does.
It was asleep. He might as well just, he was like, this is my opportunity to shoot it and get a crit.
His reaction.
This is what I do.
Wait. I'll stab it. That's a lot of damage right there.
I personally am under the mentality that Volred, after every turn, looked at that wolf. Like every single time, it was just like
His face mask is one direction, but his eyes just darting off to the side. Like,
it's like, is it still there? Can I kill it?
you're asleep.
Can I do something about it?
Hits something, makes too much noise. Like, shh.
Shh.
He's coming for you.
Yeah, no, I'm under the firm belief that he was definitely eyeing that wolf the absolute whole time that he was fighting something else.
Let's go into a BTS stat. Click. Okay, over or under 50 points. That is the gap between you and Volred. Over or under?
And damage?
Yes. Over meaning there's a larger gap between you. Under meaning it's a smaller gap.
I have to think. Oh, Volred did a lot of damage this last fight though, and he was about 50 above me before, when you had a Jace with Volred, because that was one of your stats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say it's over. I'm gonna say that he is more than 50 points ahead of me at this point in time.
That is incorrect. It is.
Oh, I caught up.
46 points. Because you also dealt a lot of damage last session, enough to keep it within a decent range. The total being 21 to his 24. So I recently added all the damage into there, so the gap actually got smaller.
All right, I'll take that. Okay.
Izal currently has the biggest single hit now, passing Volred. What was Volred's previous number, and what is Izal's current number?
Oh, I don't pay attention to Izal's like max numbers because I know you're going to tell me in Adjacent with Jace. So like I don't pay attention to it.
Volred's had this for a while.
I know. I just can't remember if it was like 29. If I go lower, I feel like that's offensive. I'm going to say 24. I'm going to say 24. No, it had to be higher. I'm going to say 29. And then he's all... Let's say 35. I know you just did it, but I don't keep track of it, so I just not.
Like, oh, Jace is doing things. Who cares? You almost had it correct, but you changed your mind. Volred's original was 24. And Jace Izal is now at 29. So 29 is correct.
Oh, I had both of the numbers. I just did it in the wrong fashion.
You went over. The price is right. That yodeler just went off the cliff.
Jeez.
But yeah, it took a while. He had that for since he first got to level 3. He got the crit on a sleeping creature and got 24.
It's those sleeping creatures, man.
No, he hasn't gotten... That was from level 2, I think. Yeah, that was a level 2 crit. So he hasn't even reached his full potential yet. He needs to kill... That wolf probably would have done it, though.
Yeah, that wolf probably would have did it. He should have shot the wolf.
Like, he could have had that number. I think 33 is my highest I can possibly make. And Volred's is... It's 2d6 plus a d8. It's like almost 40 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, he only gets one attack, so...
That's all right.
Luckily.
He's doing work with those one attacks, so.
They hit like a truck.
Do.
The current kill leader, would you like to take a guess on that?
I'll give
you a hint. It's never me.
Remember who actually got the kill, so it would have to be Volred.
The answer is Arthur with 9. You know, see that you do a lot of hits. You tend to finish off a lot of stuff. And yeah.
I actually don't feel like I finish off a lot of things. I feel like Volred gets a lot of the finishing touches on a lot of stuff. But cool. I will take that. I will take that to the bank, which is 0 in the account right now, but I will take that.
And a stat for Eric, if he ever wants to see this. I don't think he's in the chat, which is unheard of. Gross. He better be in the chat, because I'm about to give him a cool stat.
Rude.
Eric has finally surpassed the damage output of Izal, and is now sitting at 419 to Izal's 364. And he did that by, over the last couple of games, hitting people like a truck.
Hitting is it a boulet? What is it?
The boulet?
Is it a boulet? I keep calling it a bullet.
That's a softie. It's French.
Boulet. Anyway, that boulet hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if we didn't kill it that turn, we would have had 2 of them on us. That first one hurt. And I was like, there is no way we're gonna make it out of here. And then the second one popped up and I was like, oh, so he really trying to kill us today. That's what we're trying to do. Okay. Well, we made it to session 15.
Oh boy. So when I previously updated the DM damage, he was sitting at 226, and I gave him a hard time about it because he didn't do more damage than like the top half of it with having more options. Since then, he has almost doubled it to 419 in 4 weeks. So
yep. So again, Alex or Jason, I'm going to start by saying this: don't remind him of stuff. The reminder is just what's getting me. I was like, if he forgets and we forget, then okay, we forgot about it. But Jace, you always, I appreciate you, because if I forget something while I'm DMing, I know you'll be there to
you have advantage when you're attacking. Use it.
He's always just like, oh, you have advantage. Oh, Jace. Jace. The homeboy's he's sitting at 9 health points right now. You're gonna tell the DM that we have advantage? That's great.
I had 7 hit points. I was ready for it.
You were. But you get half stuff.
I took that crit from that hooker and I dropped that shit down to 12 and I laughed at him. In your face, stupid.
You did. That was impressive.
Now you call that a hit?
It's not as impressive as the DM critting his own monster and causing the to be
smite. It's like, oh no.
Yaros. Yaros was a good one.
Regret it. We'll never see another NPC paladin ever join our team.
Ever again.
They'll be just fighters with like a radiant weapon that does like a d6 extra, and that's it. He's a holy fighter. A paladin? No. Fighter.
No, just a holy fighter.
Eric did show up in the chat. He said, watch yourself.
Oh, this is a safe space. I'm good.
Yeah, screw you, Eric. Okay, so really close to the final 10 minutes. Let's go with the question that we always like to end it with, but we'll put a little more stuff in here. On the Deadpool, now ignoring Gorbeck, because we have to take him out of there, who is more likely to die? Because he's currently not in the party.
Can I say least likely to die? Because like I feel like the most likely people to die are pretty consistent. So I'll answer both. Least likely to die is probably going to be Gander, because he's too chicken shit to be on the outside anywhere. And it's always in the middle of everything. And so he'd be the least likely to die first. Most likely to die at this point in time, it's really difficult because Caleb stays on the outside of everything and always gets jumped by something. Izal wants to get hit, like genuinely just wants to be in the middle of everything and just kind of do whatever it is that they're doing. And then I'm playing a monk and a healer. So like I can't vote for myself. Otherwise I would vote for myself because Eric hates healers and hates monks. And I'm gonna have to go, I'm gonna go with Izal. Because I feel like Izal is going to run into a swarm one day and just not make it out.
Yeah, it's true. I would do it. I saw big monsters. Like, well, someone's gonna have to fight it. It might as well be me. A question for Ari. This one's from Eric. It's written specifically in the Discord for it. Given that Art is a degenerate, just like the rest of the party, what is the justification for the Mercy subclass doesn't seem to fit you?
Well, you came in real hot, calling Art a degenerate right off the bat. Um, so the Way of the Mercy has two sides. And that's what I like about that class. And Art doesn't really know a lot about the class. He just remembered some monks doing some stuff and it actually could be beneficial. So he was like, oh yeah, monks can channel their ki together and heal somebody. And we seem to get fucked up a lot. So why not heal and try focusing in on that ki and figuring that out? So Art is just doing it to help. And if there is an opportunity for Art to help, he's going to take it. For me as the player, I like the whole mercy and harm aspect. Like, yeah, I could be nice and I can heal you, or I could just tack on this extra damage and fuck you up. One of the two. And I like playing in the middle of that, mostly leaning towards the harm side. But with Art, I'm going to have to save my key points for healing people because they get hit a lot.
I think it makes sense. Like, learn how to channel healing through the key. Like, that makes sense. I mean, kind of came out of nowhere, but it's more like I need to practice now or else I'll never use it. But let's go on to the typical last question that we've been getting from moderator Tater. Ari, can you give us a D percentile roll?
I can, but you see how my rolls are.
We're hoping for 69 or 22. You know, the classics. Maybe a 47.
Put that pressure on me. I mean, Eric already puts pressure on me because he thinks I'm gonna fail every roll anyway, so it's fine.
In the chat, I think EPS 5000 needs a lesser restoration.
All right, we're gonna roll the D percentile. Let's see. Huh? I got an 83.
83. It's not the good number, but
it's not. I mean, it's not what we wanted, but it's higher up, and I feel like I just jinxed myself for all of next session. I don't think I'm gonna roll. Nope, I'm not even gonna put that juju out there. We're gonna leave it alone.
Thank you, moderator Tater, for the cheering of the number. And now for spars, I will give him what they want. The reintroduction of Ari, since they never show up on time unless I'm delayed horribly. So let me pull it back up.
All right, I'm ready.
Bars for spars. That's a good.
Bars for spars. Yeah, I like
nice
that
one. Scroll all the way up to here.
Oh, yeah. Prepare. Give yourself a little warm up. It was a long one. You got to take a deep breath too.
And joining me today, slick moves, nice shoes, but in card games he'll lose. On the boat he smuggled booze, right or left he'll let you choose because he's coming with a haymaker. On a good hit it's a bone breaker. Next up, if there are any takers, only real fights, no fakers. If you're in a pinch, to get a hand of healing that'll help you out with how you're feeling. If not, it'll be necrotics, especially if you're a crab aquatic. These hands will hit extra hardy, so make way for the smooth monk Ari. So there you go. It was a little bit bumpier than the original. I recommend going see the original.
I think it was still good. I think you did well.
I put a decent amount of effort into these things. So
and I appreciate the effort that you put into each of these intros, and I appreciate all of your backgrounds that you put for our Tuesday game.
Appreciate my overlays. Oh,
all of them. I really enjoy them, and I know that you don't get the appreciation you deserve from certain people. And even when prompted to give the appreciation, certain people choose not to. So I will be extra gratuitous for your.
Thank you. I appreciate anything. You know, I crave attention. But thank you. That's why I have a show with my name in the title. So I can always see myself. But thank you, Ari, for coming in. That's all the questions we have time for today. If you haven't already, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, subscribe so you can get these VODs weeks later when they're off of Twitch. Follow us on Twitch, subscribe if you have an Amazon Prime for free. If you don't, we're not going to pressure you. You get nothing but cool emotes from us. You always get the great same content. We don't pressure you to do that type of stuff. If you haven't already, please comment in the chat below. It helps with the algorithm. If this is YouTube, like the thumbs up thingy, because that'll help monetize stuff. I don't know how that stuff works. But thank you, Ari, for showing up. It's been a while. Let's try to cut that gap between. It's been
1 week since you looked at me.
7 weeks since you've been on last.
Has it been 7 weeks? Wow, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I mean, we have one less to add into the rotation right now.
First thing, if we find out what happens, if he's going to be the guest on it. Next time, bring a friend. What? I don't even know what that means. But thank you.
That's what Eric says all the time. The DM, he just says, next time, bring a friend. Like on our Tuesday shows.
I never pay attention to that. I'm busy setting up the transition.
That's fair.
Doing the producer job. But thank you, everyone. Have a great night. The VOD for this will be up on Saturday. The VOD for last Tuesday is already up on YouTube. So enjoy your weekend. Have a good time. Join us for Sober October if you hate yourself. And like always, we will see you next Tuesday. You'll all have a good night. Goodbye.
Walking hand in hand on the ocean floor, down deep we wander. Louder we sing, no there is no cure in this together. I don't wanna tell you that it's not real. Nothing is a fairy tale. Everything about you is so unreal. It won't be pretty when it ends. Now how could I leave with your sweet love on me? Yeah. Something about you always makes it harder. When you got my lipstick on your white shirt collar. See you. Hearts and letters carved into the shore will never grow